Now I want your thoughts on this. Should we ban greyhound racing? New Zealand is looking to ban the sport as it is feared too many dogs are being hurt or killed. It's one of the few countries that is still allowing commercial racing to operate, along with the US, Australia, Ireland and the UK. Last year, 109 greyhounds died trackside in the UK, and there were more than 4,000 injuries. However, racing groups say that the industry is making big improvements, and the government rejected calls to ban the sport as recently as October, citing the considerable efforts being made to improve dog welfare. But do you think it is time to ban it? Would you be sad to see it go, on the other hand? 0207 862 2222. And Dawn, I believe this is something that you did with your dad.
Oh God, I was just watching that footage now. I have such happy memories of going to Walthamstow, or the Stow as we used to call it. My dad loved betting on horses or dogs. And so we used to go as kids. I mean, every Saturday we'd be at Walthamstow Dog Track. And I always used to have a little gamble on the 6 dog, the one in the black and white stripes,
right,
with my pocket money. And, you know, there's a kids' playground there. And it was just really, really lovely family day out. I mean, obviously times have changed. Banning things makes me always very nervous. But provided the sport is as safe as it can possibly be, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, if the dogs are looked after, I mean, it's like the race.
Are they looked after?
Well, I think responsible racing people will, because they want the dogs to win, so they're going to look after their dogs, aren't they? It's a bit like the racehorsing debate.
There's accusations of doping. If you want your dog to win, you dope it.
Well, that's what I mean. If you make the sport as safe as possible for the dogs, then I would hate to see it go, to be honest with you.
Okay, Yasmin, how do you feel about dog racing?
I went once, many years ago. I think to the same.
The Stow.
But I hated it. I hated it.
What did you hate about
I
it?
just thought, like I hate horse racing too. I just think, what is it about the human race? And it's not just us, British people or wherever. Everywhere you look, we think we have the right to subject animals, not to eat them, which we need to do or want to do, but to use them for our entertainment. And I find that really hard. And now Professor Andrew Knight, who's done research into it, about the race, the greyhounds and the speed at which they have to run and so on, he says it puts a real strain on their bodies and makes deaths and injuries inevitable. Now, I don't know enough about this, so I'm not going to be the expert.
Well,
but my feeling is that it's wrong.
When you say humans using animals for entertainment, we have done that since the beginning of time, I am sure, and we will continue to do it. I mean, would you put a stop to people taking pictures of their pets and putting it on Instagram?
No, because that's not causing them strain. That's not causing them a strain.
But there is a sliding scale, and there is a sort of bell curve on this, isn't there, in terms of what falls into being acceptable. People don't like putting woolly jumpers on dogs because they overheat, particularly.
No, we're talking about a completely. I mean, horse racing and greyhound racing are certainly two that we need to look at. Across the Middle East, there are other things that, you know, there are things done with donkeys, and I had the same objections.
Camel racing.
Yeah, and I just think we should be thinking more that this is a shared planet, and we should not be exploiting
What
them.
about asking animals to work then, and dogs doing bomb disposal and that sort of thing? Are we okay with that?
I don't think they're made to suffer for it.
Well,
this is suffering, actually, for entertainment. There's essential jobs that, okay, you know, animals have always been doing for years. Camels. Nobody would survive the desert without camels. I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I am talking up, you know, in snowy places up north where they need huskies and so on. It's the entertainment thing that
bothers you. All right, let's now bring in somebody who knows a lot about this industry. This is Julie Cooney. Julie, you set up a charity that rehomes retired greyhounds, which makes me feel like you would be anti-dog racing, but you're actually not.
No, I have a racing ground. He runs at Romford. He's called Albert. We go to see him every Sunday. We take him for a walk. We give him a bit of steak and a bit of yoghurt. And every time Albert runs at Romford, we go down after the racing, whether he finishes first or last, and we stroke him and tell him how well he's done. We're not anti it at all. They've got a lovely life. There's our Albert. But they have a lovely life. They're well looked after in every way. They're an athlete. If you do not look after an athlete, it isn't going to run for you. It has to be fed the best and looked after the best so you get the best out of it.
Okay, you say all of that, but 109 dogs died by the trackside last year. That is a considerable...
I spoke to my local track vet this morning, and there has not been one dog put down in at least a year and a half. They normally do a muscle or something like that they easily get over once they retire. If a dog does have a break hock and it is mended now, their dog retires perfectly fine. I've got dogs in my kennel. I have 48 dogs in my care, and there are dogs that have had injuries, but they're mended and they go home perfectly fine.
I didn't even mention the dogs that have injury. Those numbers are far higher. I'm talking about 109 dying by the roadside, that by the trackside. That is a lot of
I've never seen a dog die
animals.
by the trackside, and I go to the dogs regularly.
But I don't know how you are we ignoring the statistics here? Are we
the welfare is so hot now for these greyhounds. When you buy a greyhound, like I did when I bought Albert, you pay into a bonding scheme, which that goes towards when a dog retires now. So the money goes to the home in kennel, which Albert won't obviously go because he'll go to my home. But they go, and the GB, they double the money, which is all money to go towards looking after that greyhound until I find a home, and we have some fantastic homes. If you ban greyhound racing, it will be the end of the greyhound people know. I'm sure there's loads of people watching this that have got a greyhound sitting at home. That will not be the same greyhound if they stop greyhound racing. They might breed them, which I doubt very, very much. But if they do, it won't be the same greyhound because people come to me and they're 3 and 4 years old when they take them home. If they breed them, they will be a pup, a 3-month-old pup. There will be a totally different thing.
Yasmin, what do you think?
Can I just ask, are you saying that this 109 figure of dead dogs is not correct?
No, and I phoned my vet this morning, and in a year and a half, they've never had a dog die. So I don't know.
But no, that's a different thing. That's a different thing. Do you believe this figure, this official figure of 109 dead?
I can't really say that, can I? I can't say I don't believe it. All I can go on is the vet that I deal with
to confirm,
the racing dogs, and he has not lost a dog in a year and a half. So I don't know where the 100.
Right, just to confirm where that comes from, it is the Greyhound Board of Great British Figures. It also, the other figures that I saw was that they are breeding 10 times more greyhounds than they actually need, obviously, in order to get the best dogs to race. So we have, the argument is that keeping greyhound racing is actually encouraging the breeding of these dogs, and there are too many of them to rehome in-house.
I don't know about the breeding side, obviously. I don't know the figures, but I believe the breeding has gone down. But, I'm not a breeder, so I don't know that.
All right, OK. You stay with us, though, Julie. We're going to go to Brenda from Brighton. Brenda, what's your view on dog racing, greyhound racing? Are you a fan?
Right. Well, I used to work at Brighton Hove Greyhound Stadium. Lovely dogs, greyhound. You couldn't get a better dog. I have never seen any cruelty while I was there. I've never seen any dogs euthanized on the track or off the track, and I worked there for about 3 years. Greyhounds love to follow the hare. When the race stops running, if you can't catch the greyhound will carry on chasing the hare just for the sheer fun of it. That's what they are born to do. They love to run.
They do. They have a huge prey instinct. You're absolutely right, Brenda. But it is our job to harness that for our own entertainment, to potentially the injury and death of the animal.
Well, that's what they were bred to do. They love to do it. I mean, you get lurchers; they will do the same thing. Not bred for our, of course, it's entertainment for us, as people love betting, etc. But these dogs just love running round the track. I've seen it. I know, and they're lovely animals. I've never seen any cruelty. There is one country part of the UK who I'm not going to mention it on air, who are not very good with their animals after they have retired. But the Retired Greyhound Trust is absolutely excellent
Okay.
in my home in retired greyhounds.
Brenda, thank you very much for your call. Will from London, what's your thoughts on greyhound racing? Should it be banned?
Yeah, hello, Storm. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I think it should be, because it's just more exploitation, isn't it? I used to live in North London, and I knew a few people with greyhounds, and they used to take them over the fields and train them with rabbits. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it just all smacks of cruelty to me. And if you take the money aspect out of it, it wouldn't even exist. And it's the same with horse racing. If you take the money out of it, that would collapse as well, wouldn't it? I'm sure it would, because a lot of people now, they're more aware of the cruelty that's involved in greyhound racing and horse racing.
I mean,
as far as I know, I've read online, so I can't say whether this is true or not, but a lot of greyhounds apparently, when their time is up, if someone, if it's a big breeder that's got a lot of dogs and their time is up, these dogs are shipped off to Asia for dog meat.
Oh, Julie, hold on. I'm going to go back to Julie on that one. Have you heard that one before, that they're shipped off for dog? Can't imagine there's much meat in a greyhound.
No, exactly. But look, things have changed. Years and years ago, obviously the welfare weren't so hot, but it's red hot now. Things like that wouldn't happen now. The welfare's red hot.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Done for these dogs.
Julie says...
And people don't make money out of these greyhounds. Sorry, I own Albert and I pay a kennel bill every month. I do not earn money out of my dog.
Okay, well, thank
It's
you
a
very
privilege to own Albert and I pay for it.
Thank you very much for your call. Anthony from Surrey, what's your view on this one?
Hello, good morning to everyone. I've listened quite intensely. Can you hear me, Storm?
I can. I'm listening very intensely.
Yeah. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Will from London really doesn't know. I've been involved with greyhounds for the past 10 years. I've actually owned 15 racing dogs by myself and with other people in a small syndicate. 5 of which I've got at home now, 2 of which I'm looking at on my couch, ranging from 11 years old through till 6.5, who we had when she was a baby. Other dogs, I have been involved with dogs that have died, but not through racing, through illness, kidney disease. Groupies are firm. I've actually been to Ireland where they breed them. The Groupies dogs is a syndicated name, and they're bred by the Dunphy's in Ireland. I've actually been to the kennels, and they've got a 100-acre farm, and I've seen all the stud dogs and all the paddocks with them in, and they are looked after immaculately.
Can I ask, Anthony, you owned a lot of racing dogs. Why do you own racing dogs? Why do you get involved in that?
Well, the first reason we got involved with a racing dog purely and simply was because we had a boxer dog and we wanted a small friend for our boxer dog. And because he was an undone male, last chance rescue, RSPCA, they wouldn't give us a dog. So we went to Brighton Rehoming Centre at Albourne, and we got a dog called, can't think of her name now.
Okay, don't worry. Well, basically, Anthony, what I'm trying to get to is, do you make money from owning racing dogs?
No, I've spent in excess of £45,000, both on buying the dogs and having them, when they've broken hocks or whatever, I've had them repaired and spent on 3 dogs over £8,000.
So if you're looking after your dogs properly, you're not making any money at all out of owning a racing dog. It's just for the sheer love of it.
I can assure you and the panel and whoever else phones in that you do not make money from racing greyhounds.
Really would agree. And Anthony, thank you very much for your call. I'm only cutting you off because we get so many calls on this. Alison from Cumbria, what's your view on racing, dog racing? Is it cruel?
Hello, sweetheart. Well, with the greyhounds, it really is quite a cruel sport because once they injure themselves, they're just not wanted anymore. And they'll get rid of them because obviously it costs a fortune to get rid of them, like through the vets and things. It is a fortune to have them euthanised, like sort of humanely. And I know for the fact of a canal that was dredged, and there was greyhounds in the bottom of the canal.
I don't really know what to say to that because I don't. I mean, Julie, is that something you recognise from the industry, that people put their dogs down themselves if they get injured because they don't want to pay the vet's fees?
No, I don't know how long ago the lady was talking about that, but no, I don't know.
But okay, but you think that there were instances where there was definite cruelty in the past? You think it has been an industry?
Oh yeah, long time ago. Yeah, I've been homing now for nearly 30 years, so the homing's been going on a long time now. But obviously, before that, the welfare wasn't as good. It wasn't, no.
Alison,
But now
how long ago was that?
They're a protected animal. You know, your dog at home has a microchip, yeah, or it should have. It's law, but no one checks it. If you look at a greyhound, it's got a microchip and an earmark. It is the most protected dog.
Okay, Alison, just very quickly, how long ago was it that canal or river got dredged up?
It was, well, actually, I rescued a greyhound from Greyhound Rescue at Halifax. He was absolutely beautiful. He was gorgeous. It was prior to that, and that was probably about 11 or 12 years ago. It could be a bit longer.
All right.
But at the end of the day, things like that do happen. And do you know, they are so sweet and so lovely, these dogs.
Alison, I've heard from a lot of people who have adopted greyhounds from the industry, and they all say the same thing, that they're just absolutely lovely dogs. I'm not sure anybody's in denial about that. Alison, thank you very much for your call. Thanks for all your calls on that.